This video is sponsored by Dolby. Alright guys, today we're taking out a new space and making a dope editing setup for one of our employees. And you guys might have seen me interact with Jay on the channel before, but he does a lot of hard work for us, from shooting to editing and even taking a lot of work home. So we wanted to give him a really cool, comfortable setup so that when he's working at home, he's all good to go. He happened to have a den area in his apartment that was mainly used for storing things, so it was the perfect place for us to transform. It isn't a huge space like a bedroom or anything, but the idea here is to make it very functional given the limited room. And I figured this could be a good guide for you if you're working with a smaller space, but this is what it turned into. Now, the clear focal point for this room is the desk with a triple monitor setup amongst a few other things that make it really functional. And the computer he's rocking is an iMac Pro that I by no means provided. We don't quite got it like that. But thankfully he already had one, and I just wanted to kick up his experience by adding two LG Ultrafine 5K monitors. And I like the idea of having a lot of real estate, especially when work is involved, because it allows you to multitask and keep your eye on a bunch of projects at once. But yeah, that's where he's handling all of his work, but we added a few more things to his desk as well. One of the more interesting pieces are these Dolby Dimension headphones. Now these are actually straight from the company Dolby and not some other manufacturer that's just borrowing their technology. And we were able to get an exclusive look at them before launch day, which is today, but as a headphone guy, I gotta say, they did a lot of good moves for their first headphone. They're made of a leather material and have very soft ear cups, which is really important for Jay since he's sitting behind the computer for so long, listening to video and audio. But it's also very good for everyday content consumption, like watching movies and listening to music. Dolby is calling this their cinematic sound, which aims to provide a ton of depth, dimension, and clarity to audio, and it was tuned to sound like this thanks to their own engineers. It also has some pretty cool features like being able to connect up to 3 different devices and being able to toggle between them with the 3 little buttons on the right ear cup. And you also get touch controls for your audio on the right ear cup as well. But one of the biggest features, and probably the biggest selling point of these headphones, is what Dolby's calling their Live Mix feature. This mode allows you to hear outside sounds around you while you're listening to your audio. So if Jay's watching a movie and his wife calls him, he'll be able to hear her pretty clearly. Or if he wants to jam out on his headphones but doesn't want to miss anything that may be happening around him, like his dog Kaiju trying to get his attention, the outside audio comes in pretty clearly without overpowering the original audio, and with the included app you can control the transparency of this feature so you can tune it to just how you like. And if he wants to go nuts and binge watch some Netflix, he can do this smarter by not completely missing out on what's going on around him. They also sit pretty nicely on the desk here because of the included dock that also charges it, but you can also charge it with a micro USB cable, but I will say, I do wish it was USB Type-C instead. But if you guys want to learn more, I'll of course have a link down below in the description. But moving on to the rest of the desk, we do have a few more peripherals. And we kept the original keyboard that came with the iMac Pro, since honestly there aren't any third-party keyboards out there that quite beat it just yet. Now with the mouse he's using, he's got the Logitech G602, which is my personal favorite mouse, and that's what we have all over the studio. And the reason why we love this mouse so much is because it has these programmable buttons, which makes it a lot easier to edit. We just set our shortcuts to them, and it makes the editing process a lot easier. I figured if he wants the same experience, he'll have the 602 at home as well. Now as for the mouse pad he's using, we've got the Steel Series, I believe it's called Quick Prism, and this mouse pad is actually really nice. The texture is great, but it also has those RGB lights around the very top, which is kind of cool because usually RGB lights on mouse pads are on the sides. The top means you'll be able to see it even when you're using it, so I think that's really cool, and that's what he's got right here, which actually fits well with this whole blue look that we're going for in this room. And you might have noticed the soundbar under the iMac Pro, which is actually the Sound Blaster X Katana. We found this in Micro Center, and I gotta say, it really caught my attention because of those RGB lights, but I never used a soundbar under a computer before, so it was really interesting to see how this performed, and it actually sounds really good. It also includes a subwoofer, so it sounds very powerful. I was actually really impressed to stumble across this. You can adjust the sound quality by changing into these different modes. I think every mode has its own RGB light situation going on, and I will say this soundbar is a lot more compact than I thought it was going to be, which is a very nice surprise because who wants a giant soundbar under their computer? And we've included a little wireless phone charger So when he goes in, he can just throw his phone down, it's right there, it's in sight, and he'll be able to get on with his work without looking for some kind of cable. And we also threw in a Google Home Mini because why not? It's really small and compact, it's always nice to have a voice assistant nearby, and it's also got some really nice functionality with a TV that he's got right on the side. So on the right side of his room, he's got a 55-inch Samsung TV, 4K, all that you'd come to expect, but it also has a Chromecast attached to it. So when he wants to tell the Google Mini to play a certain show, it'll pop right up on his screen if it's from Hulu or Netflix. Chromecast and Google Home work well together if you want to have some shows streamed without having to touch a remote. And he already had a PlayStation 4 Slim, so we threw that in there, but we did get a cool little dock so that he can charge his controllers whenever he's done using it. And to the right of that, we also have an Xbox One S. I figured why not have best of both worlds? You got your PS4 on the side, Xbox One S on the other side. The Xbox One S is great because he can take advantage of that 4K TV since he's not really getting that from the PS4, and he'll be able to stream his shows in 4K right from the system. And since he has a Samsung TV, I figured why not throw in a Samsung soundbar to kind of up the experience. I'm all about soundbars, guys. They're way better than the dedicated audio within the TV or computers, so it's always a nice upgrade to have those. And with the included sub, he's gonna get a lot more punch than he ever did before. And that's pretty much it for the tech side of things, but for those of you curious about the furniture that we used, we went with a couple of things from IKEA. The desk itself is a UrAvgConsumer kitchen countertop. It's got a funky name, they always do in IKEA, but this is the 74-inch one, so it's nice and long, and it provides enough space to get whatever you need on the desk. And we use one of their own legs and coupled that with an Alex drawer, so he has a ton of storage whenever he wants to put things away. And we also got the TV stand from IKEA too. I don't quite remember what the name of that one was, but I'll of course have it linked down below in the description. Now let's talk a little bit about lighting. For the lamps that we have on the side, we also got those from IKEA, but the little bulbs that are inside, we actually found them on Amazon. We wanted to go Philips Hue, but the prices were just ridiculous. 12 bulbs in total would just cost way too much money, so we found some cheaper alternatives over on Amazon, and they surprisingly worked really well. Even the backlighting that you guys see across the desk and behind the TV stand, those aren't Philips Hue or LifeX, they're actually straight from IKEA. They have these little light sets that you can purchase which cost a lot less than the regular light strips that I get, and he's still able to change all the colors of all that if he wants to. But for those of you out there who want some inexpensive lights but still want to have like those different colors, these are some pretty decent options. And last but not least, we gotta respect the Jaegers that are in this room. Jay built them just like I did my own Gundam, so I'm proud of him. But we have one on his desk. We built a little shelf that holds a few of them as well. And he's into the whole robot thing, so I really appreciate that. And he even has like the Iron Man Hulkbuster suit above his iMac. So I think it all came together. It's got a really nice theme going. And of course, you guys know I had to reveal the room to Jay, and here's how he reacted.
Oh, looks clean.
Yeah. So we got the iMac Pro. We got the two 5K monitors from LG over here. And we have all of the Jaegers. My man, these aren't quite Gundams, but he's got these Jaegers. And we even got the,
I see you.
we got a little YouTube playing showing the
It's the second one, but it's okay. Yeah.
That's what he hates.
This thing actually is, it looks pretty clean. We weren't too sure about this at first.
I thought it was gonna be huge.
Yeah, so this thing actually doesn't look too bad. You know, the idea here was to keep it nice and clean, minimal, even though you're editing and doing all that, and you got your stuff all over the place. And whenever you're done editing, you're done working, you can always jump on over here. So you know, you got your TV over here. You also have the PlayStation that you already had. I decided you gotta have an Xbox as well. You can't be on one side, man.
And that's pretty much the setup, guys. So hopefully you guys can draw a little bit of inspiration from this if you're working with a smaller space, or maybe if you're looking for a few things on a budget like lighting and stuff. Let me know what you guys think of this transformation. I'll of course have everything linked down below in the description. But till the next one, guys, it's your average consumer. Peace.